Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise. Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kende Bodering.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
All right, it's the start of a new day and we are glad to have you on the show. We will kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So joining us to share the matters at hand is Emeka Madunagu. He's a journalist and a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for always joining.
Good morning to you, Emeka.
Okay, so we'll begin with the Punch newspaper. So on the big story here, we have convention, Lamido, Turaki, McAfee, lead PDP chairman race.
And also we have below that story, Sonwo-Olu, Fashola, Ambode, Lagos APC endorses Tinubu's re-election.
Okay, on the top strip, we have presidency, CAN clash over Christian genocide claim.
And also we have Amopiton resumes next week ahead of Anambra poll.
On the top strip, we still have Niger Governor Mons as 35 killed in tanker explosion. Wow.
All right, Emeka, let's take a look at presidential pardon for a bit here. AGF orders multi-agency probe. What do you think they are talking about here? Are they trying to renew or review the probe by President Bola Tinubu, especially, the pardon for the people incarcerated in prison as made possible by President Bola Tinubu?
No, thank you very much. It was a big embarrassment, a huge gaffe. The Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, came out to say that, came out to admit that there were errors, and of course, it was established that some people inserted names, into that list. And that tells you, yet nobody has been punished. Nobody has been brought to book. And it's sad. It's the anyhowness we have in Nigeria that, gives rise to things like this. I hope they'll do a better job because the Council of State has already approved the list. They approved the other list. But now, what list did they approve? It calls to question the expected wisdom of these members of the Council of State. Did they go through the list? Did they ask for explanations? Did they raise objections? How come they just got a list and, I understand some of them boycotted the meeting anyway. So, but even for those who attended, on what basis did they approve that list? It was really embarrassing.
Okay, that's good. So how might these affect the credibility of the judicial system?
No, it's not about
the justice system.
The justice system has, the cases have gone through court. And these people have been convicted, and kept in prison. So the judges, the lawyers, the prosecutors, the witnesses, security agencies, they've done their job. So, but we should be very careful in dishing out these pardons because you have to consider the work, the effort that have been put in by the different parties. What it took to apprehend some of these people. What it took again to get them, to bring them to book and all of that. So when you just come and grant pardon, it's as if you are just writing off all the work, all the labor, the risks that were taken. Yes, it's within the prerogative of the president to grant pardon, but these things should be done with, much thinking, and there should not be any room for suspicion. For instance, some of the characters on that list, how do you justify granting them a pardon? How? How do you justify granting them a pardon? What message are you passing to the society? Huh? What are we actually doing? That list, I think they should just drop that list and go back to the drawing board.
All right, so let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper for a bit here. We have a federal government promises or promise fades as pricey phones and services shut out poor Nigerians.
We also have why Nigeria should not be designated country of concern. Kuka.
Okay, we equally have as APC rallies behind Tinubu, ex-minister wants corruption, poverty, pushing nation to the edge.
We also have we will go after enemies of our sovereignty. CDS.
All right, Mecca, let's take a look at that particular one, going after enemies of our sovereignty. CDS states, I do not know, is it referring to that of Nnamdi Kanu? Is it referring to that of, which else now? The alleged coup? Which exactly is he talking about? Because the facts are actually not here from the pages.
It's just like a tailor telling you, I will make my garments properly. What else is a tailor supposed to do? I mean, what else is a soldier supposed to do? Just like traffic, what I'm telling you, I'll make sure traffic flows smoothly.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to impede traffic? Saying you will go after enemies of Nigerian sovereignty. You know, it's just like saying that the sun will rise in the east tomorrow and set in the west. That is what you're expected to do. You're a chief of defense. You don't need to restate what is ordinarily your call. I mean, so I mean, some of these statements are just, I think, just meant to show people that we're there, we're still working. But otherwise, I don't see I don't see I don't understand what he's actually talking about.
All right.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the matter. You have a question for him on that particular one? So let's take a look at the matter. Don't designate Nigeria country of concern. Kuka appeals. So what does it really do to Nigeria if we are designated as a country of concern?
Yeah, of course. It means that Nigeria will be closely watched. It means that there will be sanctions. It means that those indicted as having been, accessories, after the fact or before the fact, will face sanctions, will face a travel ban, will have visa ban. Their assets, will be impounded there, and some other, so a number of other measures. And the country will be, viewed, with suspicion. The sad thing is that the Nigerian government has been more interested in being defensive than actually playing diplomacy.
Okay.
When you are now playing a game with numbers and saying that Boko Haram insurgents have killed more Muslims than Christians, what you are doing is that you are admitting your failure. That you have failed spectacularly in protecting your citizens. That is one. Two, you have admitted that there are actually killings in your country on the basis of religion. These are talking points. These are talking points that bring about interpretations. So when you say that more Muslims are being killed, that begs the question. Because people have actually, those pushing this have actually put facts on the ground. They've told you 52,000 Christians killed. They've brought evidence, to you. They've laid out everything. There's nothing hidden. All the facts are in the open. And then you are saying more, so what are you talking about? So what it means is that, okay, we admit that there is a genocide, religious genocide, but the fact is that so far, is more Muslims killed than Christians. So actually, Christians have been killed. There has been a genocide of Christians, but the number has not risen to that of Muslims. So what exactly are you saying? Is it that the lives of the Muslims killed does not matter? Is it that the Muslims are to blame for the killing of Christians? I mean, the Muslims killed are to be blamed for killing of Christians, or the Muslims killed the killing of the Muslims should be blamed on Christians. So in that, at that level, you lose the plot, you lose the argument. It's a simple thing to admit that yes, there have been security failures, but we are working on them and we need help. will welcome help from the international community, to deal with these things decisively. Because there are countries that have had such problems, like Colombia, Sri Lanka. They've had such issues, and they received external help. So when you are going on the defensive, you're looking for one person, an advisor to Trump, you are looking for his validation and all that. It only shows your insincerity. It shows you are not sincere, and that is a big, big letdown.
Okay. So what can be done to foster peace between these different faith groups?
The thing is very simple. Fix the economy. Take many people out of the temptation of joining insurgents. That is the key thing. You see, the insurgents, whether north, south, east, or west, they prey on ordinary people. They kidnap businessmen, they kidnap businesswomen, they kill military officers, they kill security officers, they burn, they destroy buildings, they do all kinds of things, they engage in illegal mining, and all different kinds of crime. And what is the motivation? They have to bring something to use in catching people. Oh, we are fighting to establish a jihad. But the Sultan of Sokoto has said that jihad doesn't mean killing people. But the question is this: when the instances mentioned, certain things were used, certain expressions were used, and these expressions, they were used deliberately by those committing these things to imply a religious motive. So when you are saying that you want a solution, you yourself, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. When you are trying to pretend that there is nothing like that, but there are photographs, a photograph of one cleric, is it that in Plateau State, whose congregation was wiped out, his family was wiped out. People are now trying to help the man to get back on his feet. There are records from missionaries, from Christian groups, NGOs, foundations, people in IDP camps. Nigerians, these are Nigerians who have been uprooted from their places of residence, from their farms, from their homes, and they've been on the IDP camps. And there is no serious effort on the part of the government to get these people back to their places of abode, because we are still playing politics. We are still playing politics of the identity, of the ethnic identity of the attackers. We are still playing politics of headers versus farmers, which is nothing. It's just a plot twist, trying to engineer the narrative to make it look like it's headers and farmers. Meanwhile, for decades, headers and farmers have lived together without conflicts. But at the end of the day, people will call that they have been attacked, or their villages have been attacked. How many times have security agents responded to such calls? So they should stop being defensive and just deal with socioeconomic factors. And stop weaponizing religion. Stop weaponizing religion. Stop using religion for politics. Because you only know where you start. You don't know where, down the road, how far down the road, that other people will kick the can.
Very true. All right, I think we'll have to leave it at this particular point, just to let you know that Emeka would be here to take us on our main conversation. That is when we return. Abuja court orders detention of Kanu's lawyer, a brother, 10 protesters. That's in the Beat Still Enterprise morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah, let's go. Thank you so very much for being back. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. So our main conversation for today. An Abuja Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Kuje has ordered the remand of Mr. Aloy Ejimakor, counsel to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, alongside Kanu's brother, Emmanuel, and 10 others following the free Nnamdi Kanu protest. The defendants were accused of defying a court order, chanting war songs and obstructing traffic during the demonstration. Very true. According to the police, their actions amounted to criminal conspiracy, incitement, and disturbance of public peace offences punishable under the Penal Code. The defendant, taken from police custody, could not enter their pleas due to the absence of legal representation. And also, Ejimakor requested a brief adjournment to allow the defense team to arrive, but the court rejected his plea and fixed Friday for hearing. A member of Kanu's legal team disclosed that a motion for bail had been filed but could not be served on the police as the authorized officers was reportedly unavailable. Meanwhile, Ejimakor, speaking from Kuje Prison, confirmed his detention and alleged that authorities deliberately chose the Kuje court for the trial, bypassing others in the city. Reacting to the development, former Senate President Adolphus Wabara condemned the arrest and detention of the protesters, describing it as a dent on Nigeria's democratic image. He urged President Bola Tinubu to call security agencies to order, stressing that peaceful protest is a constitutional right. All right, let's get talking. We have Emeka Madunagu. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for hanging on. Thank you. Now, I would love you to speak to the detention of Barrister Ejimakor, here, the brother to Nnamdi Kanu, and 10 others who they said were protesting, which is enshrined in the Constitution 1999 as amended. Speak to me on this. The police media head. What's the name of this dude now? Hyundai. Yes. Was speaking on national television, and he was questioned whether the Nigerian police were going against the rights of Nigerians to protest. And he said that the Nigerian police weren't going against the right of Nigerians to protest, but that the court had ordered for the protest not to have been carried out, and that was why they were arrested.
The court has no power. There is no court that has any power to stop protests. The court said, don't protest in so and so place. Don't protest in Aso Villa. Don't protest in the 3-arm zone. Where you arrested these people was not in Aso Villa. It was not in the 3-arm zone. So I just think the Inspector General of Police is just fishing for attention. It's totally condemnable. He should go and do his job and stop looking for distractions. That's the truth. You have Bello Tuji in the north, a terrorist, attending meetings, coming into town with his people, hanging guns and all that, telling you clearly that he killed people because, an early agreement was reneged upon. And you can't do anything about it. The DSS now just released a warning that ISWAP is planning to attack communities in Ondo and Kogi states. That is what should concern the Inspector General of Police, not about people holding protests. These agencies are funded with taxpayers' money. It just amounts to a waste of taxpayers' money. You took them to Kuje. You are defeated at the Court of Appeal. In the case filed by the MPP and former President Muhammadu Buhari concerning protest, you were defeated at the Court of Appeal. And you know that you cannot go to the Supreme Court because you don't have any point to prove. The Court of Appeal is a court, generally is a court of final jurisdiction. Generally, unless you have certain matters, particularly constitutional matters, to a debate to say, oh no, the Supreme Court should look at it based on this contention. Can the Supreme Court look at it and give a different judgment? That's all. But for the fact that the police have been defeated at the Court of Appeal, why are you now saying that you are charging them to? Because you know the case will not go anywhere. Did they try it with answers? We thought the rigmarole went just wasting public. Where did they get to? Buhari did the same thing with Omore Sowore. They were just trying, fishing until the Tinubu administration came in, and the Attorney General of the Federation filed a notice of discontinuance because they knew there was no case. Just some people who feel that, you know, they are bigger than the laws of Nigeria. And what do we see? Just waste public funds. When we need the security agencies to concentrate on serious issues at hand, you are saying they were chanting war songs. How ridiculous. What is the meaning of chanting war songs? How do war songs sound?
What is war song?
No, tell me now. How do war songs? I mean, you said they embarrass this nation. And people read these things all over the world and they wonder what kind of people are this. They were chanting. How do war songs sound? I need somebody to tell me. How do war songs, how do they sound? What are the lyrics of war songs? Because I've never seen any artist in the world who released something and wrote war song. I've never seen. I've never heard. Unless maybe in all those folklore, you know, they said, oh, when the days of those kingdoms, you know. Okay. Well, but Russia and Ukraine that are fighting, is it that when the pilots are going for bombing missions, there are songs they chant? Or is it when the drones are flying, there are songs being played from the... I don't understand. It's just total badadash.
Okay. Can peaceful protest, right? Can peaceful protest legally amount to criminal conspiracy or disturbance of public peace under the Penal Code?
You see, let me tell you, whether Penal Code, whether Criminal Code, when you don't have a case, you will just be fishing for, you know, you will just be fishing for reasons. That is what is happening in this. Look at where you arrested them, Mitama. You now took them all the way to Kuje before a chief magistrate. And look at it, all the matters list, all the offences listed are available. The chief magistrate said he will not bail them. Why? And no legal representation. Why not wait for the legal representation? You deliberately, you see all this mischief make us a laughing stock in the international community. When you travel abroad and you sit with officials of different nations, you travel around the nation, you sit with scholars, and they ask you questions, you just feel so embarrassed. You see, the major problem in Nigeria is ego. Some people, just their ego, just to show President Bola Tinubu, I'm working. Abuja was shot down on Monday by the police, not by the protesters. How many were the protesters? Okay, how many people did you arrest? How many protesters were there? Did they damage any public property? No. The court said don't protest here, and they didn't go there. You were the one who shut down everywhere. You erected barricades everywhere, even electric fences. One man who was driving, excuse me, on his own, going his way, his vehicle ran into one of your electric fences. The police officer started running up and down, looking for how to put it off. Something that could have killed the occupants of the vehicle. Were they protesters? You see, all this high-handedness is what we are asking that. We don't need this. What we need is, you know, we need actions that tend to build up our democracy. We don't need all these distractions, all these sideshows. We don't need them. Because people will continue to protest. Whether you like it or not, people will continue to protest. You cannot stop people from protesting because you are also a beneficiary of protests. The IGP is the IGP of a democratic administration, which was the fallout of pro-democracy protests that made the military to quit the stage. Register, get INEC, set up INEC register political parties and held elections. So being the beneficiary of pro-democracy protests, there is no ground on which you can establish why you are now on your own writing your own constitution about protests. You are affronting the constitution. And I hope people realize one day they will be out of that office. Omo Elesowore, the activist, he held a protest concerning police benefits, police retirement benefits. Now, this Nigerian police has come out to say that, okay, they are looking into it, that now they've seen, after the protest, that they've seen, okay, there's some merit in, having a second look at, should the policemen be under the contributory pension scheme, since the military is not under it, since some agencies of government are not under contributory pension scheme, okay, should we now have a review? Okay, we're going to have a review. The outcome of a protest. So when you now tell people not to, I now wonder, why? What is all of this? President Bola Tinubu was actively involved in protests, occupying Nigeria, naming different protests. December 30 this year will make it 30 years. 30 years of the Nadeko rally at Yaba. The big Nadeko rally, which was about, I think, the biggest rally, gathering of pro-democracy figures in the fight against the military. 1995, I was there. You had Chuinka, you had Nahoro, you had Bekor and Sonkuti, you had pro-democracy figures. They turned up that day. December 30 this year. We'll make it 30 years. That was 1995. By 1999, 4 years later, we had a democratic dispensation. If those old men at that time, if they had not sacrificed their, they had not risked their life, if they had not sacrificed their time and all of that to come out for that rally, we would really be talking of democracy today. And we can go on and on and on and on and on. So protest is a constitutional right. There is no basis for all of this. You just want to show, yes, I dealt with Nnamdi Kanu, and so what? Look, what we need are actions that will advance democracy. Remember, the appeal court already set Nnamdi Kanu free. It is on record. They said the manner of his rendition from Kenya, his abduction from Kenya, invalidated any thought of trying him. Is there? But the problem with Nigeria is that we like to dwell on it to promote illiteracy. When we know that in that matter, the appeal court has settled it. But some people, because Nnamdi Kanu called Buhari Jubril of Sudan, and Buhari took it as a personal ego, that is the main thing. It's not about that he killed people with this, that, because the lawyers have asked them, give evidence where he killed people. You say he incited people and all of that, they're just running up and down. It's fine. And the trial continues. But people who are calling for his trial have said that the manner of his rendition, even a court in Kenya, has condemned the manner of his rendition. You went to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court did what it did, and then you brought back the trial and all of that. And the people are telling you that, look, there is no basis for this trial. It is, I mean, are you saying that you will flog, you will beat the child and the child will not cry? The manner of his rendition, if you had extradited him lawfully, legally, perhaps we'll be talking of a different thing. What he's hanging on to that, that the manner of his rendition invalidates any idea of his trial. So, well, it's up to the to the Federal High Court, to decide on that. But you see, arresting his lawyer and all of that, let me tell you something. It will not solve anything. Yes, the nation is on edge. The protests could have been, by the way, you held the protesters, you arrested them, you remanded them in prison. Look, they ought to know by now that taking protesters to prison is only promoting them. When Showore was a student leader in Unilag, how many people knew him? When he was president of Unilag Students, how many people knew him? When I began to engage the government, and the government would arrest him, put him in prison, you are promoting him. You are now giving him a global status. When now the Kanu started in 2014, some of us were saying, well, you know, some of us were saying, please handle this matter with care. Don't crack down on them because you will not give them the basis for their agitation. Nnamdi Kanu now played his game and said that Buhari had died, that the person who was there was a clone, and Buhari lashed on it. Why can't you just avoid certain traps? The next thing, the chief of army staff, said, Operation Python dance. And look at how many youths were wasted for nothing. Something that could have just been handled in a way that, look, have been so easy. People came up and said, they talked of a Yoruba nation. Did you open fire on them? These things were handled diplomatically. And that's what we need. But when you are more interested in they come out to protest, we will arrest them, we will take them to court. Not today. People say not today. How many did the military put? How many? Where is Abuja today? Let's walk away from that beating part. Let's do things that will ease the tension, that will bring about reconciliation. People are angry. People are not happy. And then, you know, certain parties, criminals have seized on all these issues. And look at the killings and all of that.
Okay.
It's actually very despicable. And to be honest to you, you know, these things, when they happen and when we see them, they're actually not pleasant, you know, to the eye. Remember 1997, you know, the alleged coup of General Sani Abacha, like you rightly said, you know, I remember very well, Oladipo Dia, Olarinwanjo, Fadigbe, Abdulkarim Adisa, they were all held just hours to be executed until Sani Abacha passed away. And today they are free. Most of them are late now, but the message in there is power is transient. You might have it today, it won't be here today. And who knows what the story that will be told about you. Like Sani Abacha, nobody reminds or remembers him on a good light. And would you be remembered when you're no longer here? That's the big question. Thank you so very much, Anaka, for being here. Truly do appreciate you. All right, people, that's just about the time we have. I'd love to say thank you. Please do well to follow us. If you may, you can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Kwibike.
And I am Kehinde Boduri.
Have yourself a splendid day, and bye-bye.
Yeah.